TOK Human Sciences Unit Assignment by Ariane Carrillo. Along with two classmates, I conducted a survey that helped me understand the role of human sciences in TOK. This experiment worked with 10 questions as the independent variable, the answers of each student as the dependent variable, and the control variable was the fact that the same survey was given to different people. Well, from this real-life situation, I extracted the following knowledge issue. To what extent does a language in a logical fallacy influence reason? To begin with, I will analyze this knowledge issue by defining the following terms. Reason is an underlying fact or cause that provides logical sense for a premise or occurrence. It is affected by language, emotion, and perception. Logical fallacy. These are failures in logic. But what is logic? It is defined as the way in which the human mind processes information about what it perceives about truth and reality. Influenced means the capacity to have an effect on the character, development, or behavior of someone or something, or the effect itself. Language is defined as any type of communication or expressed. It allows human beings to formulate ideas, particular interpretations, and understand how others think and why. In relation to real-life situation, the purpose of this survey was to gather information about human behavior, and it allowed my teammates and I to understand through the collection of data the role of human sciences in TOK. But what do I mean with that? Well, this will be explored through the ways of knowing and the areas of knowledge. To begin with, I would like to mention as the first way of knowing intuition. This is the ability to understand something instinctively without the need for conscious reasoning. An example that I would like to put is newspapers. Newspapers are a source of media that, when presented to the public, want to sort of shape through language how one understands the message that they're trying to give. However, given that people know about this purpose, their own intuition acts upon when they read the language the first time that they look at a newspaper. And this therefore alters how logical fallacy affect reason, given that most of articles in newspapers as well as in publications use logical fallacies as they are very effective into provoking a language that appears to be real. That then shapes the perception of how one own has to use its instinctive conscious reasoning in order to act upon this situation. Another way of knowing that I will present is sensory perception. Something that I would like to point out is that the grammar of the language will influence the thinking of its speakers. So, how does sensory perception act upon this? Well, the sense that I'm using here is sight. When one looks at a grammar in a language, somebody who speaks that native language will understand more easily the question rather than somebody who does not work very well with the language. Therefore, that person who has the ability or is a native language speaker will have a different perception than that one who is not. In terms of the areas of knowledge, I would like to present human sciences. In this case, axioms are often adopted as the basis of a hypothesis, which are then stated for the acquaintancy in explaining data collected in some area. And if one hypothesis is found to be more useful, then all it arrives to regardless as proven in some sense. Why did I present this? Well, because this survey also helped me understand the role of human sciences in TOK. And through this understanding of an axiom, which is a stated or proposition that is regarded as being accepted or self-evident in truth, I'm understanding how logical fallacy influence the language that one perceives through a statement. In terms of the perspective, implication, and significations that this real-life situation allowed me to understand. The first thing that I wanted to point out was linguistic relativity. This holds that the structure of a language affects the way in which its respective speakers conceptualize their world or influence their cognitive process. Cognitive is the mental process of knowing, including aspects such as awareness, perception, reasoning, and judgment. This is important because logical fallacies often want to trick the mind. However, if somebody manages a language, then they try to reveal what this is really trying to say and act with their own opinion and point of view. Implications. Sometimes logical fallacy bring inconsistency, which is when different parts of reason, idea, opinions, etc. do not agree or as a whole do not agree with something. Therefore, they're self-contradictory. Therefore, this means that then things such as bias, schemas, or one's own judgment appear. In terms of circular reasoning, this is the mistake in logic that restates a premise rather than giving a reason for holding the premise. For example, I personally like to eat at home because I enjoy knowing where my food comes from and how it is made. However, this is something that my own understanding of my language, given that since I've read before that chicken have hormones or that vegetarian food in my own perspective is healthier, then I've taken this reasoning as part of my way that I choose what to eat. And this was really influenced through my reading in terms of language that then shaped my reasoning. Therefore, in terms of the significance, I wanted to point out again that there's a conflict in terms of logic between truth and validity. And through this survey, I managed to understand how this really works, because some of the questions were really formulated in order for the people who took the survey to answer something that they might probably say yes or no, but only the fact that we tried to alter what they were going to say. And this logic is presented or used in languages, and languages are the way in which the human race has developed, expressed, and explained their ideas about life. Therefore, the term of rationalism appears, which is a school of thought in which reason is an important source of knowledge. And this goes again to the fact of to what extent does the language of a logical fallacy influence reason. And I wanted to end up with a point that is, whatever you think, there is a word. Whatever you conceive, there is a